Hello, today is January 18th, 2026. The last week is really haven't done much here in the main section of the grotto, but what I have been working on is this stone glade. So there are big changes here. So one most obvious is the tree in the middle. It's kind of like the sister or a distant cousin to the great oak, and this is a secondary section. There's also the stone circle, and what this is a blocked water spring. When the thought is when the bull enters this radius here, this sphere, he has the spring gives him a clue, and he goes to investigate. I added an animation for him to dig at the ground, scratch at it, and he's going to move one of these stones. Now, this one specifically here. And then he's going to release the water. And I'm not going to spoil it. Let's just see what happens. As the water rises, when it reaches the top, life returns. Grass, leaves on the tree, frogs. So now that he's vandalized it, he's going back back home. So let me just quickly rerun it without any commentary. Moving the darn mouse. Yes, there are ferns here too. There's ferns everywhere. Okay, that is the main achievement this week. So, just quickly, this is the logic, the blueprinting for the stones sensing and starting those water effects, those Niagara effects. Everything starts off as dormant, and then just the dominoes. The stone moves, the water rises, and then the plants grow, including the tree. That is the majority of what I was doing. Honestly, this week I barely look at a blueprint. Secondly, I'm going to note a lesson learned, discovery of mine. I've never ever been happy with these tree limbs around this totem, and it just boggled my mind why they look like melted chocolate. I've got tree bark material on it. I couldn't figure out why it looked like that. As it turns out, when you sculpt using Dyn Topo in Blender, which creates new engons on on the original shape, What it does is it destroys the UV information and that the materials use. So Dyntopo and Remesh do that. So I have been able to test it if I just added a simple shape with none of those two things during sculpting, and I brought it back in here. It looked perfect. So I'll probably be revisiting it in the next week. So hopefully I can get it. And also I just kind of I wanted to get to the attack behavior more than caring about nitpicking the textures. It was I'll figure out why it's doing that and fix it later. It's now later. So, other than that, I am going to be landscaping both sections. This one will remain dormant until the water rises, so whatever I end up putting here is going to have the same growth timer as the grass in these trees. But the Great Oaks Sanctuary, oh, I hit it. The Great Oaks Sanctuary is going to be lush all 100% of the time. And that's it. That's mainly it. Everything's bare. I stripped down everything to simplify during development, and it's time to decorate. Put him back home, back on his island. Here's I'm going to close with this. I always try to implement everything all at once and figuring out and planning ahead on how things are going to be wired. It rarely works. The best approach to any of this has always been, for me, is, and I'm stealing this from Shrek, is that onion layers. You build the core and you layer on top of it. You layer the character on top of it. Piece by piece, you build the core, make sure it works before you put the next layer, and so forth and so on. That's something I learned, I know from my professional life, but it's for some reason kind of escaped me for a while here. And with that, I bid you adieu, and I will see you in the next time. See you in the next video. Just watching a little bit. Lily pads. Have to have lily pads. Just gonna leave that out there. All right, guys. Be well, and I'll see you in the next video.